Hey guys, it's SimQueen, and today I'm going to be starting a new series on my channel. This is going to be a building series, and it's actually the A to Z challenge. And I want to start by saying that I might have a little bit of difficulty saying that. It might come out as A to Z challenge now and then because I'm from Canada and we say Z around here, but it is called the A to Z challenge and it sounds much better that way, but I might have trouble with it. Anyway, this challenge was created by Green Screen YT, so I'm going to link her channel in the description so you can go check that out. I think she's at letter, the last one I saw was F, which was florist. So she's definitely coming along pretty well. So she created the challenge, and I was inspired to do the challenge by Hip Hip Renee. I saw that she had done, she did A was Art Deco and B was Bungalow, and I thought like it's such a cool idea to be able to come up with new building styles and new ideas. You get to try a whole bunch of different sort of themes and architectural styles, and I was really into that. I love trying new things like this, and I also love challenges. All my Let's Plays on my channel are challenge based. That is exclusively how I play The Sims. Everything is a challenge for me. I love it. And so I thought this would be a really fun challenge to try out. It's going to be a long one for sure. It'll take a while to get through all 26 letters of the alphabet, but I am really looking forward to it. So for the letter A, I wanted to try something that hadn't been done before, or at least not that I had seen. And the trouble with that is you're pretty restricted with the letter A. I thought of maybe A-frame. I thought of, there's another one that I thought of, but I can't remember what it was called because there were not that many options. And so what I did is a little bit of research into different architectural styles and different building styles, and came across a building style called Antebellum. It's nothing I'd ever heard of before. I'd heard of the band Lady Antebellum, but I never knew what that word meant. And so I came across this style and thought like that looks so so much fun to be able to create, and definitely something that I've never tried before. So Antebellum, Antebellum architecture, I did a little bit of research into what it meant and what it was all about. Basically, it's a building style that is mostly characterized by the 19th century, and kind of it's something you see more in the deep south. So I think I was reading that like places like Georgia and Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, Tennessee, South Carolina, those are mostly the areas that you will see these houses. Now, I have never seen a house like this in my life around where I live in BC, Canada, but I definitely see them in movies before. And I guess it's characterized by, it basically said that these houses started popping up between the American Revolution and the start of the American Civil War, and a lot of them were plantation homes and mansions. So I just found it really interesting to just dive into the research of it, and I was looking at a whole bunch of other antebellum style homes, and a lot of them look quite similar. They're characterized by these sort of large, most of them are white, houses with big pillars and large evenly spaced windows, and they're usually on larger lots as well, and the insides are very intricate, very grand, and I just thought that this would be a super fun one to try. So this is my take on an antebellum home. So of course, like I said, I didn't even know what the word antebellum meant, but I think that in the end it turned out to be exactly what I was hoping for. As you can see, I was having some trouble with the windows. I knew that they had to be evenly spaced, especially if I wanted it to look just perfect, and it kind of wasn't coming together, so I had to do a little bit of spacing, a little bit of playing around, and eventually I got it. Took a while, but I got there. That look with the black shutters just really worked for what I was trying to do. These homes are usually characterized as well by these larger front decks. Sometimes they're like a wraparound porch, but mostly it's a very grand front porch. There wasn't a single antebellum home that didn't have that grand porch at the front, so I definitely wanted to include that. Now the upstairs of this house was a little bit difficult because I really insisted on having that sort of open balcony when you first walk in. To me that just it shouts like a grand entrance, and that's what I really wanted to accomplish. So it did take a little while to figure out the floor plan for this house, but I didn't cut it out like I normally do. There are a few things that I did cut out of this video just in the interest of keeping it quite short. So I cut out a lot of the landscaping and the backyard stuff. Like I built a pool and I placed a few things throughout the yard, and I didn't really include that very much because it just didn't seem like an important part of the house, and I am not very good at landscaping or backyards, so I didn't do too much with it. This house also has an attic, which I don't think I've ever built before, and I thought that'd be kind of an interesting thing to throw in here because of course it is quite realistic, and this house did also have that little bump out on the roof. I guess not a bump out, a dormer I think it's called, on the roof, and I thought that would be a perfect space for a little attic, so I did include that as well. Just put some cluttery things up there. It's not really functional or anything. The one thing that kind of irks me about this house is the placement of the fireplaces. I had one at the front and one at the back. Now, I was looking at pictures and there were a few houses I saw, one in particular that I was really inspired by, that did have this exact placement of the fireplaces. There was one at the front of the house on one side and another one at the back of the house on the other side, and it looked fine to me, but in The Sims for some reason it doesn't look great. It looks a little wonky. I did keep it though just because, you know, in the pictures it looked like that, and I thought like it's realistic to the building style, so it's gonna stay even if it looks a little odd. I insisted on keeping it there, and I really did want this house to have a lot of fireplaces, so there are 4 of them. One in the living room, one in the dining room. Upstairs there is a sort of sitting area that's kind of open, and then there's also one in the master bedroom. So this house doesn't have nearly as many bedrooms as I was planning on having. Whenever you do a sort of an open entrance, like what do you even call it? Like an open ceiling entrance, it takes up a lot of space, especially in the top floor. And so you're a little bit limited in where you can place the bedrooms. And so this turned out to be just a 3-bedroom home, but the master bedroom could easily be split into 2 or 3 bedrooms. Probably 2. But yeah, it's a huge master bedroom, but that's kind of what I wanted to go for. In my head, for this build, I was thinking I wanted it to still have that sort of antebellum southern charm, but also a little bit redone, a little bit updated. Of course, I wanted the house to have a little bit of historic vibes, and I definitely, actually, you know what, this house I was inspired by the movie Sweet Home Alabama. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that movie. I loved it. I always loved it. It's with Reese Witherspoon, and it's really good. And there's a part in the movie where she is pretending to live in one of her friend's house for like a newspaper article, and she's getting interviewed and pretending to live in this house. And it's sort of this plantation style home, and they actually called it a plantation as well. And I was really inspired by that house as well for the inside. And so this, like, the whole the kitchen has a door with like the little window, circular window on it, and it's got one going in from the living room and one going from the dining room. So I definitely got that idea from the movie Sweet Home Alabama, where they had that the door, like actual swinging doors for the kitchen instead of just archways. And as well as the layout and like the walls and the floor, a lot of that I was kind of thinking of that movie while I was building. And these homes are actually characterized by their sort of detail on the inside. Usually there's like crown moldings and pillars on the inside, and I wanted to do that, but at the same time, since we can't really do crown moldings and we can't do intricate ceilings, I just knew I wasn't going to be able to get that full effect. So I didn't really go for like the pillars on the inside and that kind of thing. It's a little bit less grand than that, but still quite a nice house. I built this house in Willow Creek because I thought it really suited the neighborhood as well. And I did it on that, I forget what this lot is called, but it's the one that has, you'll be able to see it later. It has like this grand sort of driveway, like a curved driveway coming up to it. And I thought that would be perfect for this house. I don't normally build on this lot just because I don't know, like when you've got an entrance like that, you really have to live up to it. And I don't normally build houses like this. So I thought this was perfect for this lot. I used a lot of whites on the inside of this house. Tried to make it look a little, I guess, a tiny bit dated, because I wanted to keep it up with the southern charm of this house and like the historic vibe that it has. So that was a little bit difficult to think, like, how can I find the medium between like like an older style house, but not super tacky. And I think I did a pretty good job of nailing that. To me, it looks exactly how I was hoping it would look. Of course, the grand entrance is my favorite part. I love when you walk into a house and you can look up and see the ceiling from the floor above. I just love that look in The Sims. It always turns out to look really good. So this is the front entrance here. I didn't really do too much with it. This house doesn't have a ton of clutter because I knew it wouldn't really suit the vibe that much. I mean, it's quite full. It's definitely got a lot of stuff in this house, but I tried to keep it a little bit less cluttered than my normal builds. To me, this kind of reminds me of a house that you would see. This might be a bad thing, I don't know, but that EA would build, that you would already come in Willow Creek. It kind of reminds me of that. You could easily do this. I could have done this entire thing with just base game stuff. I never do, but I'm saying like this type of house you could totally build using only base game things. But of course I used every single pack, I'm pretty sure. But the one thing that bothered me is this open area right here between like the back of the couch and the wall, like where the door to the kitchen. It's quite open there, maybe even too open. I wasn't really sure what to put there, so I left it kind of just as like this open concept look. I was trying to go for something grand and a little bit over the top, but instead it seems a little bit bare in the screenshots. If you can think of another thing to place there, if you do want to download this house, please feel free to do that, because I really couldn't think of what to put there. For the dining room, I went with carpet. There is no carpet in any other room, I don't think. Everything else is hardwood or tile, and used like a grand sort of light fixture above the table. It's got the fireplace in here as well, which I think looks really nice. I just love the look of that swinging door leading to the kitchen. I just think it suits the vibe of the house really well. And the wall sconces as well, they kind of light up the house, fill up the walls a little bit, and give it sort of a realistic touch too. So the sconces are like throughout the entire house. Hallways, bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen, they're everywhere. But I think they looked pretty good. They suited the build. And for the master bedroom, I was kind of playing around, realizing that this room was bigger than I realized it was going to be. Whenever I get out of bed, I'm able to kind of gauge just how big the room is, and it was just a little bit bigger than what I was hoping to do, but I think it still looks pretty good. I went with like a lighter blue color for this room, just trying to stray away from the whites a little bit. And I use this bed here, which I don't think I've used that swatch before with the blue sort of design on the bedding. I don't think I've used that one yet. Also, I put a couple of closets in the hallway. I was going to do it in the bedroom, but I didn't like the look of it, so I put it on the outside to look like sort of a linen closet. And then there was another space where it would have fit a closet as well really well, so I did two, which I've also never done before, but I don't know, I thought it would look kind of nice. I put a lot of expensive paintings throughout the house as well. I don't remember what this house ends up being worth. My game isn't open right now, so I can't check, but I think it's quite expensive. I did not hold back at all. There was definitely no budget for this home. Again, another expensive paintings. There's got to be like $20,000 worth of paintings in this room alone. Also, just switching out some of the light fixtures. I did use those circular sort of disc ones, like the basic generic ones everybody uses, but they didn't really suit the build that much, so I do end up replacing them with different lights. This bathroom here is quite large. I definitely wanted to have that clawfoot tub in there as well, and I did put a double shower, which to me seemed like it would be sort of a newer addition to the home. It definitely wouldn't have originally had that. And I think just a bath mat, and that's pretty much it. I do keep the bathrooms quite simple, maybe a little bit too simple, but I just wasn't sure how to furnish the bathrooms without overdoing it, and that is usually my issue with bathrooms, is sometimes it's just way too much. So I did 2 extra bedrooms, which to me would probably just be sort of like guest bedrooms. I didn't do like any kids rooms or anything. Of course they could be kids rooms easily, but they don't really have anything fancy in them, just the basic bedroom stuff. But both those rooms are quite small. I'm not sure if this would have been the original floor plan. It doesn't make that much sense, to be honest, but I was very limited when I had to do the floor plan because of that open balcony. But to me it was worth it because I love that balcony so much. I think it looks really nice. Use a lot of wallpapers as well, which is kind of a fun change. I don't normally do that. But I really love the look of all the wallpapers, and here I'm adding that last closet. and just putting in some more lights throughout the hallway just to make it sort of lit up. It was a little bit dark in there. And then this is that seating area I was talking about. It's not very fancy. It's really nothing. It's just sort of an area to sit down in front of that fireplace. There's a bookshelf there. Just filled it up with some curtains. And then upstairs in the attic, I just put in some cluttery, weird things like boxes and some junk. There's like an old piano up there. I did put an easel as well. So yeah, there's not a ton of stuff, but you definitely get the idea. It's an attic. There aren't even any lights up there. There's no electricity. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to add an attic. But we're coming towards the end of the build, and the screenshots will be coming up soon. So yeah, if you enjoyed this build, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know what you think, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for watching.